Will they stay or will they go? Well, we don't know. What do we want? That's what we're here to do. You've seen the last video, hopefully. If you haven't, go check out. We tier list all the defenders and goalkeepers into 4 categories, and we're going to do the same again today with the midfielders and the strikers. The top category is you're having a laugh. We're not selling them. No price. Go away. Leave. The next category.
Oh, sorry. I thought I'd just do the mime. Doesn't work so well on the podcast, does it? The price is right. If you give us what we deem to be acceptable, we'll take the money and you can have the player. It's a simple transaction.
And then it's let me think about it, which is the third or fourth categories. We're not really sure, to be honest with you. On one hand, we would like to sell them. On the other hand, we're a bit too pussy to say we'd sell them. So it's basically like the bottom category, but you're worth a little bit more cash. And the bottom category is
2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps. I mean, we will take anything for these people. If you're at Upton Park, it's 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps. Quite frankly, if it's a London stadium, we will take a slush puppy and a small bucket of popcorn. This player, we don't want them. We'll drive them there ourselves.
I was looking forward to watching you try and mime 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps. That's
the sound effects. Yeah,
that's just you at half time, to be honest with you.
It's true. Until you buy me a pie.
Yeah, with a spark.
Yes, lovely.
Surcharge. Anyway, midfielders and strikers. We've only got 2 strikers, but we've got plenty of midfielders to get through. So, is there anyone in particular you want to start with?
No, I don't know what your system is here.
Well, I think we could start with the middle and work up and out. So we've got a few middle.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. Sounds.
That's how I eat a cream. That's how I eat a cream egg.
Or paint a wall. You don't really, but there you go. But carry on.
Yeah, I do the edges first. But anyway, let's go with an easy one. Easy one. Mark Noble.
You're having a laugh. You're having a laugh. There's no prices right. You can't buy him. No one's going to offer any money for him. He's got to stay on and do coaching. He's Mr. West Ham. He stays at West Ham. He's part of the fabric of the club, and you can't tear at the seams and rip up the fabric of the football club. It's the only category for him. He stays, and that's it.
I'm not ready for Mark Noble leaving or retiring. I'm not ready for it. You're having a laugh for me as well. There's just no point trying to buy him because what's his market value? 5 million. It's just not worth it at all for West Ham whatsoever. We need him there because we need him to guide Declan Rice as a new captain next season. Mark Noble, club captain. Mark Noble plays. He has an armband, but he should be playing a lot less. But he still remains at the club. You're having a laugh for me. The centre midfielders are really easy, aren't they? Carlos Sanchez.
2 pints of lager and a packet.
I think his contract's up actually, isn't it? We shouldn't have had him.
Yeah, I've got to say.
Do you know how in the last video we made a category? We said thank you and goodbye. Cheers.
Yeah, I'm not cheers. I've got clinking glasses with that geezer.
Calling him.
Oh, it's still got to be 2 pints of lager. Quite frankly, over 2 pints of lager, I'd probably drink a pint of my own urine if he agreed to leave early. I probably need some crisps and some lager to wash it down. But I'm not having it. He's one of the worst players we've ever signed. He's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. I don't know. I'm not sure he's technically a footballer. He's a bit moody. He's a bit Mickey Mouse. I'm not sure he technically is. I think he might be having us on. He might be like.
I seen him play good.
Yeah,
I mean, it was against Newport County.
Oh, lovely.
But he played well. But that was his level, unfortunately. Crikey, it's glad to get rid of this guy. David Moyes didn't even want him in the first team. He's been playing for the under-23s, 90 minutes. But the worst thing is, I'm looking at that thinking, actually, stop playing for the under-23s because there's now an under-23 player not in the team because you're in it. I think Rosa was on the bench the last game because he was staying. I thought, no, I don't want him interfering in the development of our under-23s players. Just get him gone. But he's going this summer. Jack Wilshere. I mean, this is a funny one. How do you price someone that's never played?
Well, you'd have to take 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps for him because it would mean you wouldn't have to pay the final year of his contract. which is the simple one. And I think enough people have watched their videos and know that I like Jack. I like the way he plays football. As I've said many times, I would love a Jack Wilshere shirt up there. I'll keep hinting until he sends me one, but he probably won't. So now, because I've said he's only worth 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps, willing to up it to 3 pints for a shirt. I love the fact that his family are West Ham. I love the fact he's West Ham. He's just not fit. He can't be fit. It's not worked out. And if a deal can be made whereby mutually it's terminated, you don't have to pay the last year of his contract, then fine. I'd love some scenario where because I actually think David Moyes would like Jack Wilshere, because Jack Wilshere is technically, and he works hard as well. So I think he would possibly find a way in. Jack Wilshere is best will play in. Well, never mind David Moyes' West Ham team. Jack Wilshere is best placed in the England team, but I just don't think we're going to see it. It's and it's a real shame. So, but not the same 2 pints lager and a packet of crisps as Sanchez. Obviously, I don't think Wilshere's a fraud as a footballer. I think Sanchez is. I just think it's been unfortunate.
Yeah, 2 pints lager and a packet of crisps for me. It's about the money you could potentially save, but I think the club will see it as they're in too deep now. They've already given this guy 10 million. You might as well give him another 5 and just hope that you actually get a year of excellence out of him, which is extremely unlikely. But the one small perk of this season being delayed is he's actually resumed light training prior to the delay of the Premier League. So essentially, as long as he keeps himself fit, if the Premier League resumes again, he might actually be fit to finish the season. He might actually be in contention to play the remaining 8-9 games, whatever we've got left of the season. It's very unlikely. But
I reckon he'll be the first West Ham player to catch the coronavirus.
Well, it's not going to be Roberto. That bugger can't catch anything.
Hey!
Thanks for that. That's a good assist there.
I like
for Wilshere, when he plays, our best player. Problem is, he doesn't play. Declan Rice.
Yeah, you're having a laugh.
This is interesting. Are you putting him in that, or are you going to put him in the Price is Right, but the price is 80 million or something?
No, I think you're having a laugh. He is our best player.
Yeah,
he really is. Almost whenever we do the player ratings reviews on the patrons after the games, every time, Gio, that the score is immense. He gets into these games, and when things aren't going West Ham's way, he's got that drive and that personality. He starts trying to run forward. He starts trying to be the attacking midfielder. Everything just, okay, right, you lot can't do it. I'll get the goal. You know what? I'll do the last-ditch tackle. I'll do this. The amount of responsibility he takes on himself shows such a determination, such a drive. He's got good ability as well, really good ability. He's only young. There aren't many leaders. There aren't many leaders in the game now at all. He's a leader. He's, as you mentioned earlier, future captain.
Next season's captain?
Wouldn't mind. Yeah, absolutely. I don't mind. I wouldn't mind giving him the captaincy. Now, I think you can construct it in such a way that you don't offend Mark Noble. You make him club captain.
You can, because at Swansea, remember Ashley Williams was captain? He wasn't the club captain. It was Gary Monk. Just that Gary Monk never played. But if he ever did play, he was captain. So you can still have Mark Noble captain when he's on the pitch, leader off the pitch, but Declan can very much be the match day captain almost. The guy, when he plays, he's captain for 90% of the season, assuming Mark only plays 10%. So
I mean,
there's definitely.
The trouble is with it, I think if you're going to get rid of a player like Declan Rice, you're invariably going to have to get in wonderful players. Otherwise, you're just moving backwards. You know what I mean?
There's 2 players I'd be disappointed to see Declan go. There's 2 players I would sort of note to replace him with, potentially. That's for a different video.
Go on.
Do you not want to see it for a different video, or shall I reveal it here?
No, I mean you can do a lot of them, can't you?
Okay, the 2 players I'd like if we sell Declan. But I don't think we will, actually. I think the season getting postponed and possibly cancelled is actually going to stop Declan getting his summer move, because there's going to be financial repercussions for the clubs, so the transfer kit ain't going to be as big, and they don't see Declan's form. Declan was hitting form before all this. He went through a bit where he was getting 6s and 7s out of 10, but the last few weeks, he was getting 8s and 9s again. He went to the Etihad, he went to Anfield, and he put in performances that were worthy of playing for and against these teams regularly. But actually, this season's now stopped. His form stops. And I actually think the clubs that were maybe looking at him thinking, actually, maybe we could go get him, we're waiting to be convinced, and they're not going to be convinced because there's no games. And there's no Euro 2020. Well, assuming there's no Euro 2020. I actually think this thing is going to stop him getting his summer move. I think this is going to make Declan Rice remain.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, well, look, I mean, we can look at we can look at other players potentially replace him in another video. But yeah,
we'll do the cup of tea. When we do the cup of tea, I'll write it down. I won't mention it then.
Okay.
There's two pairs. So yeah, you're having a laugh for me. Because just saying that, if someone come in with the right money, I'd sell him. But you're having a laugh. I'll keep him in there. One other centre midfielder. Now this is cheating. This is cheating because he's not our player. TOMAS SOUCEK. But he's our player. West Ham stay up. We've got an obligation to buy him, so he becomes a West Ham player in the summer. What happens if the season's null and void? I think it goes ahead because we're a Premier League club as of next season. I think that's probably how it will work. I think he will become a West. So let's just assume we bought him in January for the sake of a video. We bought him in January for 16 million. What category are you sticking him in?
Well, I think it's still the price is right, isn't it? Because you can't have him. You're having a laugh. I do think
I am. That's why I'm putting him.
All right. Look, I'm not so sure. You know, if that's me and I'm his club, and from what we hear about his club think that they've made a mistake with the thing. I think if we don't stay up, I think if I'm his club, I want to keep him, and the season is null and void. I think I contest that legally. I would. I'd definitely contest that legally because that wouldn't have been that much detail put in the negotiation in the contract. So I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I would have to go. Then the price is right. I cannot, in all good faith, put someone I have seen play live twice or something and on telly twice or whatever it might be into a category which is you're having a laugh. I just can't do it. I'm honestly, I don't know how many times I've seen the geezer play, but it ain't much more than what I've just said. So I can't. I think the price is right. So if we bought him and he cost 18 million, 16 million, whatever it is, you know, what could I say if somebody came in with 40 million? Of course, you know. So
well,
yeah,
that's why I'm putting him in. You're having a laugh because I've only seen him a handful of times and I want to see him more. I want to see this guy long term. I've been impressed with what I've seen. We've seen us without him and we've missed him. We've seen him with him and we look a lot better. He's only 16 million as well. So you'd struggle to go find someone that good for 16 million pounds is basically what I'm saying. And for that reason, I just wouldn't sell him. I want to see this guy next season alongside Declan in the middle of the park. And it just, if you sell him, you've got to go replace him. And it's a position we've been unable to fulfill for years now. Like Slav tried to get a midfielder and couldn't get one. So we've now finally got one. The last thing I want to do is sell him, regardless of what the price is. It would have to be stupid money. So you're having a laugh for me. His market value is probably about 60 million because that's what we've paid for him. He's not done enough to increase his value. So 16, and there's no chance of accepting 16 million. Not a chance. So you're having a laugh. In you go, Tomas. Good start. Continue it, please. So now we're moving on to the slightly more attacking-minded midfielders. There's a few. This is where they get a bit controversial. I think there's a few names in here that could slip into plenty of categories, and the viewers will have different opinions to us. I think that category, the midfielders, centre mids, were quite easy to be honest. I think it was an easy selection. Yeah. This is where it gets difficult. So I'll start from the bottom up on my list, which is Robert Snodgrass.
I don't want to be disrespectful, say 2 pints of lager, but I want to say 2 pints of lager. But I'm going to say, let me think about it, because I do think he's got his set pieces, which he's very good at. I think he's a good character. I think he probably brings something to the dressing room there. But I mean, I'll be certainly disappointed if going forward over the next 2 or 3 seasons, Robert Snodgrass is featuring in the team very much. I don't really particularly, want to see it. But as a dead ball specialist, it's a good guy to have around. Yeah, let me think about it.
I'm going to put him in the one above that, which is Price is Right. I think he's our James Milner. Really, I don't want to see him starting much next season, but I'd like to see him on the bench for pretty much every game. If he's on the bench, I feel safer almost, because he's good for any scenario. If you need a goal, great, bring him on. He can whip in some crosses and set pieces. You're defending a lead, great, bring him on, because he's going to give you 100%. He's going to commit fouls. He'll take a booking if he has to. You're drawing, great, bring him on for both reasons. So he's the right guy to have. He's a good character, reliable, hardworking. His wages they were expensive when he joined. He's now average. It's a moderate wage. I think he's on about 70 grand a week. Whoa! And it broke. It broke. It broke. Me and Gonzo sat and recorded all the midfielders and the strikers. And we discovered that Skype only recorded the first half of the midfielders and strikers. So we're missing a few players. Hence why we've changed clothing. Hence why we look a little bit older, a little bit more stressed. It's Friday, it's the end of the week. We are now more stressed. And Gonzo is a little bit grayer. Anyway, shall we continue with the tier list?
Please. Well, I'm all for a tier.
You've got us all the way up to Snodgrass, and you've got... I wasn't quite finished Robert Snodgrass, but I can't be arsed finishing it. I can't remember what I said. So we're going to go on to the next one.
Which I can't even remember. Hold on. Hold your horses. I've got to get me pen. I can't remember what the flaming tiers were. Hold on. Hold on. You're having a laugh. The price is right. Let me think about it. 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps.
That's the one.
I keep extensive records here at Gonzo Towers. Extensive archives.
It's a big notepad. It's a big notepad.
So my eyes aren't good. Go on.
Where are you putting JARROD BOWEN?
I can't remember what I did last time, but I think you're having a laugh.
Yeah.
Is that what I said last time? Do you remember?
I don't know, but that's why I'm agreeing with you here.
Yeah, I think the kid's coming. He looks good. We've been desperate for some goals. We've been desperate for somebody who can offer something different. For too long, that bench was looking very, very poor. And he's the right age. He's the right profile. He's pleased to be here, Gio, by the way. Everything he says is very positive, a good outlook. And we've just got him in. You know, it's no. And he is ours, unlike the old SOUCEK thing. We have paid for him, so he's got to stay. As far as I'm concerned, I don't want him to stay.
Yeah, I'm putting him in. You're having a laugh as well. I think he's been brilliant. He's hit the ground running. He's clinical. He looks to shoot on sight within reason as well. He's desperate for success. He's desperate to score. He's got that streak in him. He's got a streak of, I want to do well as a team. I want to do well, and you can have that. You can have a bit of selfishness about you as long as you apply it correctly. And you get two types. When the going gets tough, you get two types of players. You're either A, going to down tools, or B, you're going to step up to the plate. And this guy is a step up to the plate kind of guy. And if you have 11 of them, you will have a successful team. There's no two ways about it. And also the thing is, he's got a £25 million minimum fee release clause. I think if he was to continue his early season form, his 3 or 4 games with us, he'll continue that form between now and when the season finally comes to an end. He'd almost be worth that, but I wouldn't accept that. I'd be disappointed if he was to leave today for 25 million. I'd be a bit glum about it. Fantastic signing. I'm really looking forward to seeing him next season at West Ham. I'm going to miss the next guy because the one advantage of having to re-record this is I know we disagreed about the next guy, so I'm going to keep him. I'm going to keep him towards the end a little bit. Next one is Felipe Anderson.
Well, the price is most definitely right here. And, I mean, you could put it, let me think about it, but it would still be coming back to, let me think about it if someone offers us the right money. The price is right. And the price is probably 30 million. If we could get 30 million back for him, I think that would be a good deal. I think we paid 38, 37, 38, something along those lines. A good player with lots of talent. But I do wonder how much he is suited to the Premier League now. The assists and the goals are way down on what a player's talent should be. And you look at someone like the fornicator himself. Even sometimes when he's not played in a position that he particularly wants to be played in, he will pop up and he'll get a goal. He'll get an assist. You look at his record, and that's actually pretty damn good at impact in the game. Now, I did think early on there were there were times, particularly at the start of the season, he was getting criticised, but actually I thought he was getting assists, and so that was, I would defend him and say, hold on, he was very much involved in the build up to that goal. He doesn't seem to be involved anymore. That being said, he is a good player. You don't let him go on the cheap. If you get 30 million back for him, then I like to think that we would be able to reinvest that well, particularly bearing in mind if you look at SOUCEK and BOWEN coming in, whoever's making decisions, you'd hope it's Moyes, would then with that 30 million be able to go and cherry pick somebody decent that could operate on that flank, basically.
Let me think about it for me. Same price as you, 30 million. If I would actively try and sell him in the summer, he'd be not the first one out the door. He might be, but it's not for the same reason as other players. Some players want to get out because they're a bad player or they stink, they play soccer or whatever. You want to get rid of them. Anderson, I want to get rid of because he's worth 30 million. I want to get that money in ASAP so that we can then go and find 2 more players. The BOWEN and SOUCEK's perfect example. They, within a few million of 30 million, cost the same. So would you trade Anderson for BOWEN and SOUCEK? Oh, 100%. So why would you not do it again this summer? Why would you not go and try and find another BOWEN and SOUCEK in terms of the ability and price fee? And bear in mind, we got them in the January transfer window, which is harder than the summer transfer window to go find players in and find value. FELIPE, for the same reasons as you, he's not done enough. He's not done enough for me. I think he's a fantastic talent. He should be in the You're Having a Laugh. I think he's got wonderful ability. Before I just said about BOWEN, about how he steps up, Felipe is another one. He downs his tools a bit too much. He's just not quite for the Premier League. I think he'd be a fantastic success in La Liga. I think he might suit Bundesliga. He's obviously done well in Serie A. If you can go back to one of those leagues where you're allowed a little bit more time on the ball and stuff, I think he'll flourish. But it's just not worked out for him. Doesn't make him a bad player. There's nothing negative. I would genuinely wish him well when he does finally leave West Ham, whenever that may be. But hypothetically, if he left this summer, I would wish him the best because I think he's tried enough here. I think we saw glimpses, and he's given us some moments. That his first ever goal against Man United, that little flick. If I saw that Felipe every week, I'd be saying You're Having a Laugh. I want to see that, but I see it once a season, and it's just not enough for someone of that value. Andrei Yarmolenko.
I think it's not quite 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps because I wouldn't take anything for him. But I do not think he's worth an awful lot of money. I think if you got 5 million for him and you could write off the contract, you'd have to take it.
So in this day and age, it's like a 4-pack of toilet roll and a bit of pasta.
Oh, absolutely. No, maybe a couple of swirls, maybe a couple of swirls of pasta, a couple of strands of spaghetti, which is worth quite a lot. You could probably buy a Neymar with that currency at the moment. In fact, a packet of pasta is worth more than a Hugo.
It probably is, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think let me think about it, but I don't have to think about it for very long on this one. He has been injured pretty much for most of the last 5 years, so it seems. I didn't notice. I only knew the Borussia Dortmund and West Ham stats. He is never going to play 10 games in a row for West Ham or anybody else, it seems. So we have to cut our losses. A really talented player, by the way, and he'll be gutted that it didn't work out. It's easy to think of him and look at it with rose-tinted spectacles, of course, but he's about as broken as Jack Wilshere, really. So he's got to go, I'm afraid, mate.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let me think about it. And that said, with almost a heavy heart, I think the guy is wonderful. Whenever he's played, I've not seen him have he might have had 1 or 2 poor games, but he's not really had a bad game. He's had a lot more good ones than bad ones as well. He's been our consistently our biggest goal threat in terms of minutes per game. In that, if you were to break it down, if you were to say, if we were ready to play Villa and he was fit, I would genuinely make a case of him starting. If we needed to win to stay up, I'd think, hang on a minute, you have to consider this guy. This guy can get you goals, he can get you assists and stuff. Something we can't attribute to the last guy we've just discussed in Felipe Anderson. Yarmolenko has got that, but he's just not on the pitch. He can't score goals if he's not on the pitch, and for that, we'd have to get rid of him. And it's a shame, really. I was really excited when we got him, perhaps naively, but he's just broken. There's just no 2 ways about it. He's just broken. From one guy that's constantly broken to someone who was massively broken, but he's a bit repaired now, but not quite fully repaired, is Manuel Lanzini.
It really should be you're having a laugh with Lanzini.
Yeah,
He is our most talented player. He really is. When Coutinho was due to be leaving Liverpool, there were suggestions that they might get him as Coutinho's replacement. Now, as it transpired, actually Coutinho wasn't really pivotal to the way Jurgen Klopp wanted to play. So they didn't actually replace Coutinho with a like for like player. But when it was before, we knew that that's how Klopp wanted to play. I was not surprised.
no.
And with the form he was in at the time, I was actually quite confident that if he went to Liverpool, Liverpool would get there. And whilst he might not be the £150 million player that Coutinho was at the time, Liverpool fans might think, "Whoa, hold on, we've got a player here." I would have thought he'd got lots of goals for Liverpool and got lots of assists. Wonderfully talented player and our best player. But in this instance, I'd have to think about it, really. I think I really would. And we're no longer getting 30 million for this kid, unfortunately, because he's scared. And I can understand. Well, I can understand that. I've never broken my leg and been a professional footballer, but I would imagine if you do, and you see people coming towards you, with their studs showing, and you might think, oh, I don't think that's what we're getting. He's not fully committing to anything. Because he's not committed to West Ham. No, I see that. Oh, we don't want to play for us anymore. I'm not so sure. He's got a big, long contract at the moment. I think you'd be seeing the same thing whoever he was playing for. I don't think it's anything to do with West Ham. I think it's the big burly midfielder hurtling towards him at 100 mile an hour, with his socks rolled down and his studs showing, and Lanzini's thinking, "No, I don't want it. I'm just going to play it sideways."
Yeah,
I think that's what you're getting now, Gio. To be fair,
no, I'm going to put him in the one above that. Price is Right, which is perhaps a bit generous, but it's because I just don't think he's worth enough to sell. Or what would you get from today? 10, 15 million?
10, 15, yeah.
He should be worth it. And I almost think with Anderson, he could be worth more, but you don't know for sure. It looks like we've paid the right price, maybe slightly over or whatever. But with Lanzini, whoever would get him for 10, 15, with a good season, could turn him into a 30, 40 million pounds player. They could more than double their money on him. And I don't like that. I prefer us to be the team that turns him around. Can we? Will we? I don't know. And if we still had Pellegrini, I'd be saying, no, let's get rid of him. But we don't. We've got David Moyes, who Lanzini flourished under when Moyes was last here. It's a different Lanzini now. But this is where Moyes has to come up with something. Moyes has to work with him and get that out of him. Moyes knows what he's capable of. Moyes knows what he can do. And I'm going to back the manager a little bit to get it out of him. Would I sell him? Yeah, I would. But someone would have to massively overpay on what he's worth. Someone's got to pay for his potential here. And you don't know if he's ever going to get that potential, because we saw it. He had it, but it's disappeared a little bit. And the challenge now is us getting it back. So Price is Right, but I'm aware I'm looking at this with my geo spectacles on, because I like Lanzini quite a lot. I feel like I'm cheating this game. I feel like I should put him in the one below, but I don't want to. I don't want to do it.
No cheating. It's our game. We make up the rules.
Yeah, quite. Pablo FORNALS.
I think I can't even remember what I said last time. I really can't. Can you remember what I said last time?
No. I know what I said. That's because I wrote it down. I mean, you were bragging about your archive of records there. You could have key coded it like I have.
In all honesty, I expected the head technician to have recorded it without issue. I mean, I didn't think I needed to archive this. I thought it'd be there for forevermore. It would get uploaded to the Ethernet. All the tens of viewers would remember it.
We've been doing this for 5 years. We've encountered plenty of problems along the way in terms of recording to know that anything can go wrong at any point.
Well, me ink run out, in which case. Okay, I'm going to go with A Price is Right. And I think yes, I'm going to go with A Price is Right. I still remain unconvinced that he is that he's going to get played in his right position. I think there's a touch of the Javier Hernandez about him. I do. Javier Hernandez is a fantastic player, Gio. I would have played him every week in his position, in a 2. But it just seems manager after manager seem to want to play him either out wide or not at all. And I could just see the same thing happening with this kid. people don't seem to trust him enough for some reason to play him in the middle. And that's where you see his main asset, which is he's not got a trick where he's going to skip past 3 or 4 players. He's probably not got the pace to do that either. What he has got to do, he's got the in-game intelligence, and he can play the pass, and he sees a pass that other players can't see. That needs to be deployed in the middle. That's not a particularly decent attribute when you're wide. Yes, there are some slow wingers who have David Beckham being a case in point, but number one, FORNALS playing on the left would have to have a left foot like that, which he hasn't, and he'd have to be a crosser. He's just not, you know. So I suspect he's going to continue to be moved around by various managers. With that in mind, I think if we got the money, what was he, 23? If you got 30 million for him, you'd have to, I would look at it, in all honesty.
Nah, not for me. You're having a laugh for me. I think he's just a fabulous player. I agree with what you're saying. I think he's a victim of his own hard work. I think managers know they put him on the left, he will chat back, he will work hard, he will tackle. But if you put Lanzini there, you're risking the opposition right back coming at you a little bit. So I think actually if FORNALS was a little bit lazier, he might get played in his number 10 role. But it's just funny how people work. But I think this guy's magnificent. I think we need to build our team around him next season. We have to get a blank sheet of paper, hashtag 10 FORNALS, and then we think, now what do we do?
I've got a blank sheet of paper.
Well, I bet you do, because you haven't written anything else on it. You've written 4 categories, and that's all by the sounds of it. But you then put BOWEN next to him. And then you think, okay, left wing, who do we put there? Can Haller play up front with this guy in behind him? If not, then we've got an issue. But if he can, brilliant. We're moving forward a little bit. Can SOUCEK and Rice be the 2 behind FORNALS? Great. Because why would you not? Every team builds a team around an attacking player. I've yet to see a team that thinks, you know what, I'm going to put my centre back in, and then I'm going to build my team around him. No one does that. You build a defence around him, maybe, but you don't build your team in front of him on your centre back. Your centre back's there to protect your keeper. Your midfield's there to protect your centre back. And then your attacking guy is there to make everything happen. He's not there to protect anyone. He's there for the magic. And that's what FORNALS is. FORNALS is the wizard. And we need to give him the wand and say, do your stuff. At the minute, he's got a broken one because he's out on the left. Let's get him in the middle and give him a proper one. Harry Potter would not be happy with that one that FORNALS has got. He'd be saying, oi, J.K. Rowling, what the fuck is this?
The character speaking to the author.
Yeah, because the author is in charge of the character's actions. So David Moyes, J.K. Moyes, he needs to sort the wand situation out.
Right. I'm surely Harry Potter would be sticking his wand in Hagrid's face and saying, "Oi, what's going on here?"
He'd say, "Well, you're too young for me, Harry. Put away."
Yeah.
But I would go into this a bit more, but I don't really know how. I've not watched Harry Potter. So I can't go into houses and Quidditch and stuff, unfortunately.
You seem to know quite a lot about it for somebody that's not watched it.
I know he's got a wand, and that's it.
Well, you know the author. You know about Quidditch.
That's the game where they catch the golden ball, right?
I think they might be on broomsticks, possibly.
That's witches,
I think they are.
right?
I think they fly around in it or something.
I don't know. We should maybe do a Harry Potter review next week.
Have you seen? There's about 20 films.
Is there? I thought it was like 4.
Oh, I think there's loads. The kids have got them. Oh, there's loads. There's loads. The geezer, right? He starts off this big Harry Potter. By the time the last film, he's an old geezer. He's grey. Honestly, he's close to retirement. Daniel Radcliffe.
I think that's Hagrid pretending to be Harry in the last episode.
Oh, fair enough.
No Harry Potter reviews coming up, but yeah, for now, you're having a laugh. Right, Michail Antonio, I'm keeping this. I've kept this one. It's not last. We've got the strikers to go, but Antonio, because we disagreed on this. I remember where you put him for.
Did I say you're having a laugh?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Right, so I'll tell you what. The previous me was right, and I'm right again. You are having a laugh. You don't get rid of Michail Antonio. He's the heartbeat of the team. We need him if we are going to survive. Well, actually, it might be because the league doesn't continue. But aside from that, if we're going to survive for legitimate reasons, it will be because of Michail Antonio. He gets it. He understands about West Ham. He has been here for what seems like a long time now, 5 years maybe, something like that. a really good, solid player. Can play in numerous positions without grumble. Well, maybe grumbles a little bit, but he can play in numerous positions. He gets injured a little bit, but I also don't think you're going to get a tempting amount. You spoke about this earlier about Lanzini, how much you're going to get for Lanzini. I mean, Michail Antonio, by the time the transfer window opens, whenever that may be, it's going to be 30. Nobody's going to come in and give you £30 million for Michail Antonio. Well, he's worth at least £30 million to us, because I just don't think we get anyone comparable, quite frankly. Particularly, you know when we were playing FIFA the other day,
Yes.
and you look at Sebastien Haller, and he's not really, he's not great at FIFA, is he? Do you know what I mean? He's quite cumbersome. He's not.
I'm unsure where you're going here, but okay.
He's not particularly agile. The point of the matter is, even on FIFA, I was thinking, how do I get a bit of pace into the attack? I'm thinking, okay, we'll bring Michail Antonio in. So if we're, you know what I'm saying, we do it on FIFA, you do it in real life. You need him, be it wide, be it through the middle. No, I don't want to sell Michail Antonio. There's a lot of other players to sell before he goes.
Price is right for me. And the funny thing is, I could go play what you've just said, and that's why I would be open to selling him. You call him a really good, solid player. I agree with that. That's why I would sell him. You said that he's 30. He will be 30. I agree. That's why I would sell him. He gets some injuries. I agree. That's why I would sell him. When I say I would sell him, I wouldn't. Felipe, I would actively try and move on in the summer. Antonio, I wouldn't do that, but I certainly wouldn't be fending off any interest should it come.
Any interest? How much?
25 million. 20, a bit iffy. Bear in mind, let's put into context, Bowen was less. Who would you rather have in your team, Bowen or Antonio?
Antonio. Bowen's played 3 games. I know about Antonio.
Well, the thing is, Bowen's played 3 games for West Ham. You can't disregard what you've done at Hull City because it's Hull City. You've got to take that into consideration as well.
Yeah, I know, but you don't.
Well, who would you have, Messi or Antonio? Because Messi's played no games for West Ham.
Yeah, okay. Look, your poor old JARROD Bowen's being... anyway, if Messi's too old, you'd probably sell him as well. And he's had a few injuries.
I would. Depends on the price, but yeah, I would. But with Antonio, I think he's fantastic, right? But you know how I was saying about next season, you start your team out, you put FORNALS in, you put Bowen in. I would probably have Antonio as a left winger today. But if you said to me, what position are you looking to upgrade? I'd look at the team and go, well, the left wing probably could do with someone coming in that can specifically play left wing. Antonio's already out of his best position, in my opinion, which is right wing. He's already removed from that. He's now into another position. Yes, he's versatile, but that's what makes him the best plan B. That's why I think Pellegrini liked him on the bench, because you could bring him on, you could play him there, here, or there. You were getting raw pace, you were getting strength, you were bringing him on up against a weakened defence. It was perfect. And I don't know if we can afford to have £25 million players on the bench. And I think that's part of the problem this season, that we've almost got too many £25 million players in similar positions. 2 of them have had to sit on the bench while 2 of them play. And in midfield, we're struggling. Fullbacks, we're playing a freebie because we've not invested there. So with Antonio, he's got a role. I wouldn't be disappointed if he was here next season. Not at all. But at some point, we're going to have to replace him because of his age and his injury concerns, not because of his ability. So his price is right for me. That leaves 2 players, 2 strikers, our only 2 strikers. Sebastien Haller. It should be you're having a laugh, but it's not.
But no, the price is right, and it's got to be a high price because we're just not in a position to lose that much money. So if he was 45 million and paid over 18 months, we understand it, rather than the 5 years that these deals are usually spread over, we are not in a position to say 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps. We need money back. Now, I think you would have to take a loss on him, but I don't think you take a huge loss because he is a fantastic player. He's shown that he can do it in the Bundesliga. He's shown that he can do it in Europe. He's shown he can do it with us. If you build the team around him, funny enough, in the same way that you said about, FORNALS, you build the team around Sebastien Haller and get people in. In the same way I mentioned Chicharito earlier, I'll say the same thing again. This is what you do with these players. If what you're going to do is sign him and then play him in a system totally alien to what he's suited to, then there really is no point. But he will have value to somebody. because there will be somebody with the team who want exactly what he can offer, which is winning every header, pretty much. Almost every header he's contested in the Premier League, he's won. He brings it down really well. I mean, he gets the back ball under control very, very quickly, and he's aware. And he's a poacher as well. When he gets in the box, if the ball, he knows where the goal is. He knows how to finish. So those are really good attributes that people will want. Well, you know what? I also want them. So I that's why I'm not putting, let me think about it or anything else. But I do think if somebody came in with 40 million, we may well be able to get somebody who better suits what David Moyes wants to do. And it may well help me out on the old FIFA game as well, to have someone a little bit more mobile.
Yeah, price is right for me. I'd be disappointed if we sold him for 40 million, because do I think he's worth that? No, not after this season. But I would do it. I think he's with Bowen, with the right people around him. The problem he sticks out like a sore thumb sometimes for me is because we're trying to play counter-attacking football and he can't really do it. He's not really suited for it. But if you put players around him that can play counter-attacking football, you almost hide his deficiency, and you allow him to become step one of the counter-attack, which is win the first ball, let the runners deal with the second ball and continue the attack. You then sort of come in behind. But we were sort of playing him. You win this first ball, then run, because you're going to get it back straight after. If we remove that step, I think we see a completely different Sebastian Haller. We saw glimpses of it against Southampton. He was, superb. And if we can keep that guy going, we've got a machine here. I'm not giving up on him. I've always said when a new guy arrives into the Premier League, I always say the first year I exclude. I don't count it. That's settling in period for me. So I'm going to give him a bit of a pass. You can't get a pass all the time because you're 45 million at the end of the day. You can't just rock up and put in the same performances as a £4 million player and use the same excuse. But there is a level of patience for me, and I don't think it's been a big a disappointment as West Ham fans feel, because sometimes I speak to non-West Ham fans and they suggest that whenever they've watched us, Ali looks all right, and they think, like, what's your issue with him? And I've tried to explain he's been poor in some games, and they're sort of like, well, name a striker who isn't. Danny Ings looks fantastic 3/4 of the season, but there's been a quarter of the season when he's not been very good. So what are you going to do about him? Calvin Lewin's the same and stuff. But the only thing that makes me say price is right, and I remember saying this to you in the version that got disappeared by Skype, is 40 million allows you to go get more strikers in European football. You can go to Bundesliga. You won't get Werner. You won't get Lua, but you'll get most of the other ones. You can go to Serie A. You won't get Immobile. You obviously won't get Ronaldo. But down after that, you're looking at taking your pick. You go to La Liga, and in order to Madrids and Barcelona, and all of a sudden you can probably afford pretty much anyone. And Maxi Gomez was the next big thing in Spain. 40 million got you Maxi Gomez over there, and that was the top striker apart from the top teams. So it gets you anyone, really, if you can go find the right player. Is Haller the right player? I'm not sure, but it's not a no. I'll decide in a year's time. And that leaves one other guy, our other striker. We've not really seen him very much. I need to check my spelling because I'm not really sure who it is. A Yeti.
We don't even know if a Yeti. We're not even sure that they actually exist. They're, the abominable snowman is the Yeti. So we don't. And to be fair, we're not even sure that a Jetty exists either. So he may well be Bigfoot or whatever the blaming thing is. I would take 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps. I'd probably take half a packet of crisps. Quite frankly, I don't know. I've never seen him. I don't know. He is more mysterious than your pal, the Loch Ness monster. It's not worked out. It's been a complete failure. If we can get some money for him, it'd be absolutely great. Otherwise, he's going to sit around for 4 years, earning loads of money for doing nothing. He ain't going to play. He didn't play under Pellegrini. He didn't play under Moyes. Moyes don't even want to include him in the bench. He's not going to feature. If you're going to wait for the prices right, he'll just stick around. Okay, it really is. We got to break out the curfew. We've got to bung him in the back of the van. We've got to take him to the airport. There's no planes flying, obviously. And then I maybe just leave him at the airport on the conveyor belt, going round and round, something like that. I don't know. Not for me, mate.
How do you know he'll stick around?
How do I know who will stick around?
You said he's going to stick around for 4 years not playing, but how do you know? I think that's sort of like perhaps disrespectful to his professional attitude as a footballer. He might be sitting thinking, I need out in the summer, I need to be playing football and stuff. We don't know. That's my point though. We don't know. We don't know if he's good. We don't know what his attitude's like. We don't know. There's obviously a reason that the managers don't like him. It might just be that he doesn't fit or he looks crap in training or whatever. But we don't know. And I'm going to say, let me think about it. I'm going to put him in that category. For the reasons I said, he gets a year for me, but he's just not had a fair crack at the whip at all. He's just not had a shot.
Literally.
To be fair, I always go back to that game against Newcastle at home. He came on. It was early on in the season. I remember him getting into a good position. He done everything right. He got into his good position. He got the ball. It was on his left foot. And he turned around. He could have shot. But he turned around and tried to pass it. I thought, wow. I thought, there's a guy lacking confidence. But I tried to cling to the positivity, which was a young lad coming over to a different league and stuff. Completely, he's done well for Bale. It's different. I know he played European football and stuff. That goes in his favour, but it's different in the Premier League. He's come over. He's got into the position, which I always say is the hardest thing. So he's got in the right bit. I'm thinking, go on. He's turned around and thought, there's a guy lacking confidence. But I've seen everything else except the shot. I've seen enough to make me want a bit more from him, to see a bit more from him. I thought, here we go, okay. But then we just saw less and less of him. And I thought, well, how's this guy's confidence? He needs confidence to shoot, but how's he going to get it if he's not getting backed by the manager? And it's a complete baffling move. Do you know with David Moyes and Hugo, you can work out why it happened. Moyes' former club, Hugo's agent, you can work out why it happened. With this guy, I can't even work out why it happened. There's no evidence as to why we've gone and got him. Has Usalos liked him? But then I thought Usalos and Pellegrini were meant to be like that. So obviously not on this deal. It's a really strange move, this one. Nobody seems to want him at West Ham, but someone's authorised.
Well, you do. You want him at West Ham.
I want to give him a shot at West Ham. That's completely different. I think he deserves a shot. I think everyone that comes to West Ham.
He should have had one by now. You can't give him one now. What are you going to do? How are you going to get him into the team now? Can't say you deserve a shot. I'm going to play you for the next 3 or 4 games. Crikey, we can't do that.
Well, at least put him in the under 23s then. They're not even doing that. He's in limbo. He's just sitting there doing like he's not good enough for the first team. He's too good for the under 23s. That's what we're waiting for. Us to enter the FA Cup after being knocked out of the FA Cup. What's the scenario? Someone should be saying to David Moyes, with what scenario does a Jetty get on your bench? Well, I need 3 injuries, right? Okay, well, we're selling him. Or play him on the under 23 so he can at least interest some clubs. Because he's not even doing that. He's not even getting a game in the under 23s. He's playing Sanchez and Yarmolenko in the under 23s, so he's clearly happy to use the under 23s for a fitness regime or for Sanchez's case. I don't want you at all. Off you go. But he's not even done that with a Jet. He's sort of kept him. And I just think it's completely unfair on anybody to... So he almost doesn't know where he stands, kind of thing. He might know, he might have had a conversation, but in terms of what we're seeing in terms of action on the pitch, it's not very clear what his role is, what his future is. We ain't going to get, what do we pay for him? 8 million or something? We ain't getting that back.
Right. No,
lucky if it's 3 million. We paid 9 million for Hugo. Look what happened. We had to loan him out to QPR. It's going to be very similar with a Jetty now. We're going to be loaning him to a European club, and that's without all this virus stuff going on, which is going to massively impact the transfer market and spending in the transfer market. So he might have been a educated £4 or £5 million punt for a European team that's maybe in European competition. Now they can't even afford that. They're going to be looking at it thinking, now we need a more proven player than this guy. So I think he's going to be here for a little longer, and I'm not going to say it's a Jetty's fault. It's just lack of authority, lack of clarity, I guess, as to what a Jetty's role is at the football club. So yeah, that's it. That's all. That's everybody tier listed except the youngsters. Stop shouting. I know we don't have Silva.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah, we've had this in the defender one. We had it in defender. Rosengart. Oh,
hate Holland. Yeah. Cullen.
There is there is another 5-6 weeks till the Premier League is back at a minimum, probably longer. We are milking this. We're
going to
this...
do one youngster at a time. And
pardon?
Speak
you could get in jail for that.
Very slowly. Not at the moment. The police are all tied up doing other things. We're going to do one video at a time.
Yeah, so we're going to tier list our younger players at the football club. Obviously, Ngakia, Cullen. If there's any younger players you want to see us tier list, put it below because we might miss a couple. We're unsure on some of them. Connor Coventry, Joe Powell's left and permanent now. Connor Coventry. What other youngsters? Alisi, the youngster that's on loan at Accrington Stanley at the minute. We're a bit unsure of them. Do we include them or do we not?
Nathan Trott.
Well, we're going to include him, aren't we?
Well, you just asked if there are any others. I said Nathan Trott.
Yeah, but we're going to do... We'll have Trott, Ngakia, Johnson, Diangana, Holland, probably Silva.
They sold Joe Powell.
Yeah, they sold Joe Powell. I forgot about that. I don't know why.
I don't know why.
I thought he was tipped for good things.
I know. I liked him.
All right.
I saw him in the old Hong Kong competition.
He's doing well since he's moved. He's scored. He's definitely scored. I think he might have scored on his debut actually. For I can't remember who. I want to say Northampton Town, but
go on, say it.
Northampton Town.
I knew you wanted to say that.
Do you think is it Northampton he's signed for?
I don't know. I thought it might be Huddersfield or Peterborough.
No, not Huddersfield. I'm gonna Google it. Right, hang on.
All right. We should have some lift music for this point, shouldn't we? While you Google it with your Scottish broadband.
You can do the outro. You can say drop a like on it and all that, and then I'll give the answer at the end.
Okay. If you like this video, and if you're new, maybe you'd like to drop a like on it. If you don't like it, don't give it a thumbs down because we don't like that at all. If you want to troll us, say something nasty about Charlie because he's not here. He'll be editing it, and I'm sure he'll look at the comments underneath. We'll be back with more videos. I don't even know when this one's going up, but we got FIFAs. We've got more of this sort of thing. We've got the youngsters and the tiers. We've got daily uploads. We're bringing you a lot of content, to be fair, over the viral period, for one of a better phrase. We've got an awful lot of content coming up. Not all of it will be the quality and the standard or even in the format you're used to, because clearly we can't do reviews, previews and post-match reactions. Or so you think. Yeah, so you think. Burton Albion. It's Burton. He said it. Burton. I knew it. Of course you did. But anyway, catch you in a bit. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Goodbye.